Hey guys, welcome back. So after 10 weeks, the Bachelor season 27 has come to a conclusion. We have seen Zach Shallcross's journey, and just a little recap of the episode before. It was fantasy night, and he decided that he wasn't going to be intimate with any of the women. He followed through with Ariel, but not with Gabi, and then he shared that with Kaity, and Ariel was sent home. So the beginning of this 3-hour finale welcomes Ariel to the live stage, and they talk about her journey with Zach because in one way or another they did share many special moments, but the ending was not how anyone had imagined. Now, I mentioned how Zach revealed to Kaity that he had been intimate with Gabi, but I remember thinking last week if Ariel ever found out when she was sent home. Well, she's now revealing that she didn't know until she saw the episode on TV, which is crazy, right? Then for the first time, she sees Zach again there at the live event. So it's Zach, Ariel, and Jessie. Regardless how hard it was, there wasn't like a lot of bitterness on Ariel. So that was good. But she does think it was wrong that she was in the dark. Because during that rose ceremony, when the 3 women were standing up there waiting, they all knew but Ariel about what was going on. She is heated and tells him that he complicated the week and he didn't live up to his standard of honesty. All he can really do is just own it and say that he's sorry and he apologizes. But something did throw me off was when she said that he took away her agency when he said that he didn't want to be intimate. That made no sense because it's his journey, and like, what about his agency? If the roles were reversed, let me not even get into that. But I do agree with everything else that she was saying, and he does apologize. She accepts and says that they don't have to reduce it all to that last week because they did have really great moments that were a lot of fun. And that was the end of that. So then we transition to the actual episode. So it's Zach with his family. He's so happy to see them. He shares that unfortunately there is some turmoil because of the week before and how that played out. But he's excited for the family to meet both girls. The first one is going to be Gabi. Gabi is now all of a sudden feeling bad. She keeps saying something about being a scarlet letter. Now, Zach, of course, messed up. Because I get why it might feel like an invasion of privacy for him to have revealed what they did. But maybe she should have thought about that, since he did say that he didn't want to do it and she kept insisting. So Gabi and Zach meet for the date to begin. And again, she has like a somber look. And she says that she's been feeling a big weight on her shoulder. She doesn't want him to feel guilty for what he did. And she proceeds to ask if he regrets what they did. And he says, no, of course not. So watching this, I just kept thinking, is he going to pick her out of guilt? But he does reassure her, and they proceed to meet his family. Gabi goes to talk with his dad, and the dad reveals that Zach was born very sick, and that the doctors told him that he would pass. That was so sad and just so real to have these conversations. His sisters tell Gabi that Zach gives it his all when he's like in a relationship, which is why they didn't even want him to be on the show, because he does get very invested. It seems to be going well, and Zach looks like he really likes her. But I just don't trust Gabi. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why. But the next day, it's time for Kaity to meet the family, which I do like her more than Gabi. She just transmits such great energy. Kaity talks to the mom, and when the mom asks her how she's been dealing with the fact that there is another woman, Kaity starts to cry. But the mom is like very nice to her and like hugs her. And even when she's talking with Zach's sisters, Kaity tells him, if at the end of the day it's me and Zach, you guys are automatically going to become my sisters. It looks like the family might have liked her more than Gabi, not gonna lie. So she then tells Zach that she's not falling in love with him anymore. After talking with his family, she is in love with him, and she loves him a lot. Then it's another day, and Zach is going on his final dates. The first is with Kaity, and they go on a little adventure, but I kept having an underlying feeling that something isn't going to go well. Later, they are talking about the hurdle that they went through last week. He says that it could be helpful to know how to overcome obstacles together in the future, and she shares that she loves him. But based on her voice and her facial expressions, you can see that she's still very heartbroken about last week, and that sucks. The next day, he is now with Gabi, and he can't get his hands and mouth off of her. I mean, he's kissing her, hugging her. I'm like, damn. They then go riding horses on the beach, which was pretty cool. Okay, so I was watching this live, and all of a sudden, the date, they were on the middle of it, and the audio goes off. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with my TV. I go on Twitter. Turns out everybody watching The Bachelor lost audio. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, is this a sign or what's going on? ABC had to go on commercial break, and I encourage y'all to go on Twitter because the memes are hilarious. You're like, someone's gonna get fired tonight, because it was just the most random thing ever. Anyway, they come back and with audio, and they're laying in the beach, and she's saying that she can't wait to start a life with him. But he says, yeah, he's gonna have to make a hard decision. And she makes like a 180 mood change and starts to cry, not feeling like she's good enough because, because of what he said. I agree. He probably, after her expressing how much she loved him or whatever, I don't think he should have said, yeah, I'm going to have to make a hard decision. He should have probably kept that to himself. But someone needs to send her the memo on what show she is. But then it's much later. She seems to be happier than what she left the earlier date. And they're talking, and she begins to like low-key gaslight him a little bit because she feels bad not knowing if it's going to be her in the end, which is understandable. But I feel like she wanted him in that moment to sort of be like, it's you, I'm choosing you. Like, she wanted an answer that night, but it's just not that simple. He says that he's taking it very seriously because we're talking about getting engaged here. It's a long life decision. So we'll see what happens. Back at the live studio, Jessie apologizes for the audio issues, and they invite pretty much the only successful couple on Bachelor Nation, Sean and Catherine. So they share some insight on how he's doing, being Zach, and how he did last week. After all that, without further ado, the day has cometh. Zach goes to pick out his ring. For the record, none of the women seemed super excited or full of joy getting ready. But the first one to get there is Gabi. She meets Zach, and before she does, she tells Jessie that she feels like she knows what's going to happen. And she says it with a sad tone. But she is finally with him at the little engagement thing. And he gives a monologue, yada, 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 whatever, about their journey. And then he says the word, but. And she stops him and says, you don't need to say it. I don't want to hear it. And he's trying to continue, but she demands him to stop. She's like, stop. And she says that she knew it was coming, and she's mad that he didn't tell her what his decision was. But he says that he didn't know. He really had to think about it, and he apologizes. But she says that she doesn't need his apologies. And it's crazy because he tries to console her because she's sad, but she's being very dismissive. And I get it. She was just dumped. It is kind of sad because on the card she says that there must be something wrong with her because no one can love her. She definitely has some issues, and I hope that she can heal from them, and I do hope that she finds love eventually. She then joins Jessie live on the studio and explains how she's feeling, and she's still mad at Zach for making her go through all that stress, anxiety. And this is going to sound harsh, and let me know if I am sounding harsh, but I'm going to need these people to understand that when they're signing up for whatever it is, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, yes, real feelings are going to get involved, and of course that's something serious, but you also know what comes at play. She goes on to say that she felt in her gut that this was going to happen, and she claims that he knew from the very beginning that he wasn't going to choose her. She also says that them sleeping together was because they were falling in love, and that she feels violated that the entire nation knows it. But Gabi, didn't you tell the entire nation that you were going to seduce him? So then Zach comes out to be with her. It's super awkward. She says that she's still hurting. They had agreed, apparently, that what had happened in the sheets was going to stay between them. So she was blindsided the next day, which is what she really didn't like, which that's low-key messed up if that really did happen. And she says that she feels ashamed. So she goes on for like 5 minutes just talking, and then he's so cringy with his answer, and he apologizes for his actions or whatever. But then going back to the episode, he has figured out who he wants to spend every day with and wake up next to, and that's Kaity. I always knew she was going to be the one who's going to be taking home the ring, although I must admit that last week threw me off. I thought he would make a mistake, but it looks like it's Kaity. She shares a heartfelt speech, and then he confesses his love for her, gets down on one knee, and you guys, it was a beautiful moment. He proposes, and she accepts. I mean, it's evident they were just meant for each other. After that hometown, like, I knew it. It was clear. It was more than clear that they were going to be together. But once they were back at the live studio, it looked as if something bad had happened based on his face, but nothing did. Thank God. She says that the Thailand week really tested them, but everything turned out great. Turns out that he's the first bachelor since Peter to actually get down on one knee and propose, and they are going to be moving in together very soon. I really hope that this actually works out for them and they don't split up 6 months later like every single couple has for the past I don't know how many years. When asked about a wedding, he says that it will happen in 2025. I was like, okay. But Kaity says that it was all worth it. We then get a sneak peek of charity season of The Bachelorette, which I'm so excited, and you bet we're going to be here talking about it. So that was the end of The Bachelor, guys. It's been a crazy ride. I'm glad that you guys have been here with me to share that ride. This episode, or should I say this finale, nothing too crazy happened, as compared to Clayton's last year. I'm sorry if you guys disagree with me, but I loved the finale. I love that he's with Kaity, and like I said, I hope it works out. But you guys, like I said, it's crazy season. I will say my only critique of this episode is I really think it could have been much shorter. 3 hours was excessively long. We did not need that much. It could have been done in 1. Okay, maybe 2 to be a little bit more generous. But it was definitely not worth 3 hours. Some parts were a little bit boring, but we got through it and it's over. But you guys, let me know in the comments, what did you think about this finale? What did you think about what happened with Gabi? Do you agree with me that it was a good thing that he chose Kaity? Let me know. Are you excited for a charity season of The Bachelorette? Any one of your thoughts, if you agree or you disagree with me, let me know. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. You have a great one. Bye.